Today we're doing the setup and review for the Elddis Avante 505. Starting on the near side, we've got our battery compartment, so our 12 volt leisure battery goes into here and our mains hook up. There is a little cutout for the cable, so that just slots in and push our mains cable in. We've got an external 240 volt socket or 230 volt socket for in the awning power, and then our gas connection, we're set up for propane, so you do have to use a spanner to connect this up, and you have to remember it's reverse thread. Turn the gas on, and there is a little valve as well that you have to press this little green valve in to let the gas through. If you've not pressed that green valve in, the gas won't come through. And again, we've got our test bottle on at the moment, but just make sure you connect your gas bottle in with the securing straps. We're set up on the Winterhoff chassis and we're set up on 13 pin electrics. On the off side, we've got our water pump and our flue for our water heater. During the winter, we'd keep this cover on, and if we're not using it, and then just make sure that we remove this when we are going to use the Caravan. So we've got the whale water pump, so we drop that into our Caravan and push that into the side. The little clip at the top, that just locks that into place. As I say, when we're using the Caravan, we'll remove that Truma cover. Our cassette toilet for our flush water, we literally pop the cap off here and we just keep filling this up. It holds water in this container here, but you literally just have to keep filling it up, and then at the side we've got a little spyglass and you'll see the water level come up on that. So just about 3/4 of the way up is plenty. To empty that out, it literally pulls down from out the little bung at the top, fold it over, and that will drain your flush water out. The actual cassette, we've just got the little green button at the bottom, and that just pulls straight out. All of our wastewater comes out of the two sockets just at the back, so our wastewater is all out of there. So when we walk into the Caravan, just on the left hand side we've got our main control panel, as you can see here. We've got our master 12 volt on and off, we've got our awning light on and off, we've got our main roof lights in the Caravan on and off, and then we've got our water pump. Before we pop our water pump on, there's a couple of things that we just need to do. That's literally just make sure all of our taps are over the sink. Make sure our taps are in the closed position, and then we've got a drain off valve just underneath of this seat that in the winter especially we need to drain off, but also then if we're not going to use it for quite a while, we'll also want to drain it off. So the little yellow tab just at the bottom there, that one literally there, so that's our drain off valve. So we flick that into the upright position and that will drain the water system completely down. When we come back into the Caravan, one of the things, as I say, before we put that water pump on, pop that back down into the flat position as we are now, and then we won't have water going all over the floor outside. Another tip on this one, it's got the water filter built in, so that water filter over the winter, if that's left in place, that will freeze and crack up. It doesn't matter how much you try and drain the water down, the chances are it will hold water during the winter, so that must be removed. And to remove that, we've got the little fittings here. We push back on the little collar, push that back in, and then push the fitting off. If that isn't working, push the fitting into it, hold the collar, and then take it back off, and that will remove off of the fitting there for you. So, and again, if you've just come in after the winter, make sure that all those pipes are back on. Probably leave this seat up, and when you pull the water through, just make sure you've got no leaks, etc. from that area. So once we've made sure that that tap's down, the taps are all in the closed position, we can go ahead and put our water pump on. And it's literally just pop that one on. As we then turn our taps on, that will start to get the water through the system, and we can do that on the hot and the cold side. Now when we first come into the Caravan, if we've not used it for a while and we have drained the water system down, it won't come out like it is now. There'll be lots of coughing and spluttering, so it will take about 5 or 10 minutes just to get all the air out of the system and get that hot water tank full of water. And again, we must remember to fill the system full of water before we put any hot water on, either on gas or electric, otherwise we could cause damage to the system. So once we've drained or drawn all the water through the system on a hot and cold tap, we know that that's full of water, it's got a nice constant flow. We can then go ahead and put our water heater on, etc. So the next thing that we want to do is get our gas through the system. So we've made sure our gas bottle's on, the little green switch as we showed you is on, and then we can go ahead and get the gas through the system. So to get our gas through the system, we literally turn our hob on, hold it in, and we just use a little lighter and they'll light up. This is the quickest and easiest way to get the gas through the system and the air out of the system. So if you're changing a gas bottle or you're just coming to it for the first time, start here and everything else on the gas system will light up a lot quicker. Our grill, exactly the same. And again, then we've got our oven. Now what we must remember is that these oven grills need to be with the little catches at the back. So there is a reason that they're fitted like that, to keep the flame from hitting the front of the grills and to allow the heat to go through properly. So always make sure that that is the way that they fit. And also these won't fall off fitted this way, so this is the actual safe way to use them. When we then come to our fridge, our heating, our hot water, if we use it on the gas, it will all light up a lot quicker. So to light our fridge on gas, we literally put it to the fridge symbol. The thermostat valve over this side also acts as the gas valve, so we hold that one in and then we hit our igniter on the other side. You'll then see that we've got a little indicator on this side here, and you should be able to see a little red line now just going up into the green. And that is just indicating that the fridge has lit up on the gas. And when we remove or release the gas valve, we need to make sure that that stays up into the green. You see there it's starting to fall back, so hit the igniter again. And there we go, just make sure that the little indicator just stays up into the green, and that then indicates and lets us know that that's actually lit on the gas. If we want to use the fridge on electric, we just flick that to the plug symbol, and if we've got all 13 pins wide on the car, we'd flick that to the battery while we're towing, and that will work off the battery as we actually tow. Once we've finished, it's just back into the 0 position, and that will turn everything off. On the side, just on the off side, past the wardrobe, we've got our main panel here, which does our electric for our heating system, and then we've got electric hot water is the very top one, and then gas hot water. So we need to, as I say, make sure that we've got all the water through the system and we've got a constant flow of hot water on our hot water taps, or water coming through our hot water taps. We can then put our water heater on, and if we want to put it on electric, it's the top button here. If we wanted to use our hot water on gas, we would literally pop this one on here, and you'll see we get a little green light just on this one, and For our gas hot water, we can actually regulate the temperature, so we can set the temperature that we want the hot water to. If we were using the top switch for electric, it's just automatically set to 70 degrees, so there's no temperature control on that one. It is literally just on and off on the very top switch. The next one down is our fire. Now, for our fire to work, we have to make sure that the bottom switch is in the on position, and then we've got our fire controls then that we can either use on 2500 or 1000 depending on our site power. You'll see again we've got a little green indicator. Now, if I've not got the top switch on, the little green indicator won't come on. So if you try and set this up and you've got no little green light in there, just make sure that little switch is on, and that will put the power through to our heating then. The centre dial then works as a thermostat, so we can set the temperature to where we want it to. As I say, we can just either set 2500 or 1000, or back into the middle is off. For the gas on the fire, so if we wanted to use our gas heating, it's the control dial over on the right hand side. Pop that round to 10, hold it in, and again hit our igniter. We'll release this and you should hear the gas roar up. And again then we can go ahead and set our temperature on our dial to where we want that to. We have also then got the blown air heating. Now, this will work with our electric heating or our gas heating. So if we want the blown air on with either of those, we switch over to A for automatic, so that will automatically then run with our gas heating or our electric heating. If it's a warm day and we just want blown air, cold blown air, just over to the left hand side, and again we can then control the speed of the fan to what we want that blowing out at. And then back into the middle is off. We've also got an extractor fan. Now, to open the skylight at part of that, we spin the dial. We've then got extract out, and 1, 2 and 3. Or we can put it, if it's a warm day, blowing cool air again. So we just switch this to the other direction. And again we can control that then, 1, 2 or 3. And again then back into the middle is off. What we must always remember to do is, if we've had that open, just make sure that's fully closed down before we travel. And again, if you're going out for a day, I'd close that down just in case it starts raining, etc. We've also got our microwave. So we've got a quick start, stop, open up of the microwave. Now, what we must also do with the microwave plate is remove this before we travel. So we'll remove this ready for travelling, and we'll pop of our cushion there so that we know that that's not going to come open and fall out and cause any damage while you're travelling. So again, just always make sure that microwave plate is out. There is other little settings on the microwave as well, so you can set that to where you want. We've got all individual lights dotted around the Caravan, and they've got little switches on, so the little kitchen lights underneath of there. We've got little spotlights around them that have got their own switches on. And again, just underneath of the unit, we've got these top lights. Again, just behind this wall here, we've got the light switch for the back. And then in the bathroom, and that puts our bathroom lights then into the on position. We've got our cassette toilet, and again in this one we've got the fold down sink, so this just folds down and we can use this on the hot and the cold. We can then pop that aside, just make sure that's fully drained off, pop that into the upright position, and then we've got our cassette toilet. Our flush water is just on the left hand side, our blue button. To open the trap to let everything through is just the bottom one. Hopefully we've run through all the setup of this Elddis Avante 505. Hopefully it's got you up and running and got you to grips with all the controls, etc. If you do get stuck with anything, just give us a call and we'll be happy to help you over the phone. Thanks, I'm Mark at the Caravan Place.